the athletic director, Mark Elliott, is with us, and it is a new season, a new conference, a lot of new going on, new branding, new logo. You can see it behind us, new set. I didn't even think about that, and but the same old Mark Elliott.
Yeah, same old Mark Elliott. Yeah, there's been some age to this. You're right. It's an exciting time because of all those changes. We have the first and foremost, the Gulf South transition has been really good, and remains to be seen how we compete in that conference.
Yeah.
And but the challenge is there, and we're looking forward to that. The rebranding with Nike has been really good. I think the athletes are excited about it, and then the rebranding with the new logos is kind of an exciting thing. When you think about what young people want today, they like color, they like flash, they like something new, and this is part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to be new, and we're trying to be better.
Yeah. You talk. I'm throwing this at you. This is one I should have asked you beforehand. No. This is good. I was not there at either time that you did this, but you delivered a speech to our athletes and our coaches this year, as we do every year. Have to go through compliance and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things you always try to do is you try to have a message, a theme, or whatever. And I've heard rave reviews about what you said. And I know you practiced it, so it's probably not a terrible thing to ask you. But could you just surmise that for all the folks who support Trevecca, kind of your message to the athletes this year? Because I think it was really good.
Yeah. Well, always the theme for as long as I'm going to be here and as long as Trevecca's got athletics, our theme is going to be Christian, scholar, athlete in that order. And so that's our theme, that's our motto, that's our mantra, that's our guiding principle. We want to do that. But in order to really communicate that, we need to have some expectations set out. And so what I was trying to do in this early speech at the welcome back meetings for the athletes was to give one expectation for each one of those categories, the Christian, the scholar, and the athlete. And so I thought, well, how can I best communicate my expectations for this year? Maybe come out of my personality just a little bit to be a little more direct and maybe not so gray in some of the things that I do. And so I came up with three expectations. One was a vain attempt at humor, but I'll mention it. It was the category Christian. What's my expectations for our athletes this year in the category of Christian? And I used the wise philosopher and theologian Dwight Schrute from the Office TV show, and I had a little clip, and basically he said, what's the most inspiring thing you've ever heard? And he said, don't be an idiot. Changed my life. And so I played that clip and tried to be a little bit humorous, but I really wanted them to understand that we're a product of our decisions.
Yeah.
And just don't be an idiot. The prefrontal cortex isn't always developed at this age yet, but don't be an idiot, right? Yeah. So that was one. Number two, on the scholar side of things, there is a 3.0 GPA mandate. We are going to have a 3.0 GPA. We have a great academic success rate. Yeah. We have great team GPAs, but the 3-point GPA is an expectation for us. And then finally on the athlete, and I haven't said this quite as directly as I had this year, it was win. And not only that, but prepare to win. And you're not going to win unless you get sleep. You're not going to win unless you get hydrated. You're not going to win unless you eat correctly. So my expectation for the athlete category was win, and then also prepare to win.
This is not a political comment that I'm about to make, even though some people may, but I just went and watched the movie Reagan. And Nancy Reagan, at one point in there, Ronald Reagan says, what do you want? And she comes back to him, win. And to me, we can be Christian, we can be scholars, but we can also win.
Absolutely. And
I love the fact that you emphasize that this year. There's no excuse for not winning because we're Christian or scholars.
That's right.
We should be able to do all. So I thought that was a great message, and glad to kind of let a window for everyone who wasn't at that meeting, including me. And you didn't fire me for not showing up. But there was text messages immediately going out about that among the leadership team and the coaches and stuff like that to talk about that. So obviously it resonated. We're going into the Gulf South, and it's been, I will tell you from my perspective and everything that I've done, man, it has been everything you could have wanted. The Gulf South is a great conference. They're managed well. They provide things. They have expectations too, by the way, of us on all levels in my area. But from your perspective, what do you want to see this year for Trevecca in the Gulf South?
Well, the expectations were stated,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It was. We're going to
maybe just a little bit more to that.
Well,
what do you want the Gulf South members that we play for the first time, the athletes and the coaches and the fans? What do you want them to see out of Trevecca athletes and coaches?
I want us to represent our school well, and that goes back to the theme of Christian Scholar Athlete. And some of the things that they're going to find is that some of the things our athletes and our coaches are going to find is they won't remember, other than some acts of sportsmanship, they won't see the Christian side of things immediately. That'll be a long term. They won't see the scholar side of things until we're gone much later when the GPAs come out, and the academic success rate. But what they will have an impact, and what will have an impact, and what they will remember is if we win.
Yeah.
And so that's an expectation that we're going to have, to be competitive, not to put pressure on the coaches or the athletes that that's the only thing that's important, but we want them to know that it is important for us to compete in order to win. So you're right. They've done a great job of communicating. They've done a great job of organizing. We're in a very different type of era now with the athletes, but also the schedules and the sports that we're sponsoring right now. And it's one of those things that we just have to grow towards. And I think if we grow and have impact, the Gulf South will recognize us as a valued member of their conference.
He's Mark Elliott. I'm Greg Rumpf. Thank you for watching. We'll talk with him more over the year, and we'll talk with more of our coaches and athletes. You're watching Trevecca Athletics.